Hey everybody, it's Ricardo, and I am here at GDC, and I am sitting here with Takahashi-san from Namco, who is game designer on a bunch of titles, most recently, Noby Noby Boy. Now, I wanted to ask you about Noby Noby Boy now that it's been released. Is the game that you released in line with the vision that you first had for it, or did it change and evolve into something else?
I've only been able to create 40% of what I have imagined at first, but I am quite satisfied with the fact that it has come out.
In terms of what you did produce, it's a very artistic and very unique game, and it's very different. How challenging is it sometimes to convey that to the people that you have working on the project?
Exactly as you said, it's a difficult title to explain well, what this is about, what it is about. And even among the dev team, there were some that really didn't get what's fun about the game and how do you play it till the pretty much at the very end of the production.
Now, as far as your creative process goes, where did your inspiration for this game come from, and did it automatically lend itself to be this type of game, or is it something that you worked on and developed?
Yeah, there's nothing specific that I got the inspiration from, but I was discussing with my staff one day and discussing what kind of game we want to create, and that's where it all started from.
Now, one thing about the game is, as we've mentioned, it's very different. And do you still feel like you have the freedom to create anything that you want, specifically because you're no longer kind of an anonymous game creator? You're known for a specific type of game and for a specific approach. And I mean, do you feel like you have the freedom to make anything that you want, or do you feel a little boxed in now?
That is not actually true. I've been able to create games in a way that I want. There's no pressure from my employer. I always try to create something that I want rather than something to make a certain group of people satisfied.
Now, in your in your session yesterday, you offered some tips for people that were trying to work with upper management, and you said that crying was useful. And so I'm just wondering if that's something that you've done in your career to deal with upper management.
So far, I haven't tried it yet.
So speaking more broadly about the industry, the economic times we're in put a little bit more pressure on companies to make sure they develop games that are marketable and maybe easily digestible, possibly less artistic. And I'm just curious as to your thoughts on if you think it's possible to make a very cool artistic game that would get kind of the mega sales that publishers are hoping for.
Yeah, it is true that with the surrounding environment right now, that's something that I would have to learn in the future. I want to make a game that satisfies my artistic side and at the same time appeal to the mainstream gamers.
As a creative person, I'm just curious as to what you feel the game industry is missing right now in terms of game concepts, game development.
I think industry as a whole, I think we're just too serious. We should think outside of the box.
So, since you've been making games for quite a while now, I'm curious as to if you're finding that the same things inspire you now as did back when you first started.
Compared to when I started in the industry, I feel like I want to create something more abstract and something that could be even more abstract than what Noby Noby is right now. And I'm somewhat worried if in the corporate environment that would be accepted, and if I'll be accepted as an employee. That's what I'm worried about, but that's the direction that I want to head to.
And so now that you've experienced a variety of different types of success and created a bunch of different games, just wondering if there's anything that you feel like you've learned either about game design or game development that has been surprising to you?
What I find most surprising is a lot of the game creators are fixed on certain concepts when creating games, and I find it really difficult to understand why they can't think outside the box and create something much more creative and much more with imagination, rather than trying to be more inside the box and appeal to the mainstream and the corporate management, but try to think outside the box. That's what I want to push for, and I find it surprising that not many people are doing that.
So thank you very much for your time. When can we look forward to what you've got coming next?
We have the multiplayer update coming from Noby Noby towards the end of April, which features mainly the offline multiplayer option that I've shown during the panel yesterday. And as for the iPhone version that I've shown, that actually was created on the side. Actually, I've not shown it to the boss either. That was yesterday the first time I've shown it to anybody. So we'll see about that. I don't know if it'll ever come out, but hopefully I can release that close to free. Hopefully in the near future.